So today I'm going to teach you how to create your grid for your tessellation. Now if you remember from the example that I showed you, we're going to be creating a 2-inch border around the edge before we start creating the grid that's going to be inside that, and that's where you're going to be tracing your tessellation. Now to do that, I recommend making your border one side at a time. Don't try to make your marks all the way around the paper because then your marks can get mixed up and it looks really confusing. So to start off, I've got my 16 by 16 inch piece of paper. I've got a metal ruler and I've got a pencil. I'm going to very carefully line the very end of my ruler up with the edge of the paper, and then I'm going to make a mark at the 2-inch line. Now the 2 looks like it's underneath this tiny little line here, but the 2-inch line is actually just to the right of the 2. So be careful. I've had a lot of students that mix those 2 lines up before. So I'm going to make a small mark there, and I know this is hard to see, but you'll catch on to what I'm doing in a minute. I'm going to slide the ruler up to the top of the paper, and I'm going to make a mark at the 2-inch line at the top as well. And then I'm going to turn my ruler and connect the dot or the line I made at the top to the line I made at the bottom. And draw a nice straight line all the way down, holding my ruler kind of in the middle. Actually, the middle would be better. I had it kind of held up towards the top so that I've got a line. You can see it. That looks like this. Now you don't want to make your graphite lines too dark because this grid will eventually need to be erased. And if you have really dark pencil lines that need to be erased, they probably won't erase all the way and it'll be a lot more work. So really try to not put a lot of pressure down on your pencil while you make these lines. I'm going to make my border line going this way this time. I'm going to mark at the 2 at the bottom. And then I'm going to slide my ruler up and make a mark at the 2-inch line at the top. Sorry, let me slide my paper down. And then again, I'm going to connect the line I made at the top to the line I made at the bottom, holding my ruler nice and steady, starting at the top and just dragging my pencil down until I've made a line that goes all the way across. And then we're going to do the same thing on the last 2 sides. Make a mark at the 2-inch at the bottom, make a mark at the 2-inch at the top, and then connect my dots. I think it's helpful to hold the ruler up and down as opposed to side by side or side to side in front of me. I can just hold the ruler a lot more steady in that position. And then our last side here, 2-inch mark, 2-inch mark, okay, hold my ruler nice and steady and connect the dots. So now I've got a 2-inch border that goes all the way around. I'm ready to put my 3-inch by 3-inch grid in the middle. So I'm going to line my ruler up with the edge of the inside of the grid. And again, I'm sorry if it's hard to see. Once I have my ruler lined up, I'm going to be making a mark at the 3-inch line at the top, the 6-inch line, and the 9-inch line. I do not need to make a mark at the 12-inch line because that is where the edge of my border starts on the other side. Now, if it doesn't line up perfectly with the 12-inch mark, as long as it's super close, I'm not worried about it. If you are close to a 1/2 inch or more off, then we probably need to remeasure your border lines to make sure that those are accurate. So making a mark at the bottom at the 3-inch line, the 6-inch line, and the 9-inch line. And then, again, I'm going to turn my paper slightly and then line my ruler up with those 2 marks on the top and the bottom, and make a line that stays right on the inside of the border. I'm not going to make my lines go into the border. All right, holding my ruler nice and steady. And now I've got lines going this way. So I need to make a grid. I'm going to cross my lines back the other way, doing exactly the same thing. Oop, I think I started at the top last time. So lining my ruler up with the inside edge of the border. And at the top, I am making a mark at the 3-inch, the 6-inch, and the 9-inch. And then I'm going to move my ruler down and do the same thing. 3-inch, 6-inch, 9-inch, and connect my lines. It is really important to make those marks accurate at the top and the bottom. In the past, I've had a lot of students who thought they could measure on one side and then eyeball the lines going across to the other. You cannot eyeball measurements like this. They do have to be really accurate. So make sure that you're making accurate marks on both the top and the bottom, and then lining it up so that the ruler is touching both marks. And when you're done, you should have a grid that looks approximately like this. Very, very last step, these are all going to look the same. On the border somewhere, you get to decide which is the top, the bottom, and the sides. Go ahead and write your name and your period, please. We'll say this is period 1. All right, that's all there is to making the grid for your tessellation. I'll be showing you later how to actually plug your tessellation into each of the grid squares. All right, thanks. Bye.